Welcome back to HammerJoys.net. I'm going to just sort of walk you through how you calibrate your battery, because it's confused a few people basically how it should be done, but it's quite an important part of getting the best from your device really. First thing to do is actually just use the device. So you buy a new phone, you're probably quite scared by the short battery life, especially if it's a Desire HD. Don't panic, it gets a lot better. Use the phone for 7 to 10 days, not really worrying too much about how you use it, how you know when you charge it and for how long. Just get the battery sort of up and down really, full power, low power, full power, low power through the 7 to 10 day period. You don't really have to these days plug it straight in for 8 hours before you turn it on. Usually I'll turn it straight on, have a play, do my unboxing videos, etc. You don't need to worry about that. So let's say we're 10 days on. You need to run your battery right the way down, literally to the point of failure. So I'm at 18 at the moment, I've still got a fair way to go. There's a variety of things you can do to help this along. You can, if you've got a torch app for example, or flashlight I think it is on here, you might want to turn that on, like so, because that's going to burn quite a bit of battery. You might want to turn on GPS, Bluetooth, just turn everything on basically. Just do whatever you can to keep it burning battery. There's various apps you can use to help that. There's some that keep the screen awake. That'll use a lot of battery already. You can see I've dropped down to 17 from 18. So we get down to the point where literally the phone's going to turn itself off. We turn it back on. It'll boot up again. It might go for 10 minutes, it might go for 30 seconds. It'll turn itself off again. When it turns itself off, take your battery out, wait just a little while, put the battery in, charge it up overnight, a good 6 to 8 hours. Now here's the tricky bit. You do need root to complete the next stage. The easy way on a lot of phones at the moment, like the Desire HD and the Desire Z, is to use Visionary. You basically, when you run this, as you can see, it says root now. You can have it running on boot, which I do. You tap that, it applies a temporary root. So the good thing is it is temporary. A lot of people panic, oh, I don't know if I want root, I might damage my phone, which you can do if you're not careful, you don't know what you're doing. So you get root. There's a couple of different options. The way I like to go is with Root Explorer. Remember, this is once you've ran the battery down twice, you've fully charged overnight, you've booted it back up, probably still leave the charger in, and I'm going to use Root Explorer and I'm going to go Data, System, sorry I'm almost forgetting where I was going for a second there, Battery Stat Stop Bin, that's the file. It keeps itself pretty well up to date. It just stores, well, I couldn't tell you exactly what it stores, but it stores details about the battery and how it operates and how it stores its power. And we're literally just going to delete it. I mean, I'm not, because I've already calibrated, but you just delete the file. It might say, you sure? Yeah, that's fine, don't worry. It'll just write a new one, and that's the idea. That's when it starts writing the new one, that's when you unplug the power, and that's the sort of the more difficult step done. You just use your phone right the way through, let it go right the way down that evening. Again, you might have to turn a variety of things on to get it to run out of juice again, basically. Have I got terminal? No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to install something else and I'll show you the other way if you don't have Root Explorer, because that is a paid app. So I'll be back with you in 1 second. Okay, welcome back. So this is the app you want. Android Terminal Emulator by Jack Palevich. It is free. So I've got it installed now. If I see if I can get you the QR code. So that's for the terminal emulator. Let's go back to the actual. So now I've got to remember how I can toggle the keyboard. Toggle soft keyboard. There it is. So we're in the emulator, the terminal emulator. Sorry. To get root, we type SU. There we see the super user request. Yep, that's fine. Allow, thank you. Terminal emulator has been granted super user permissions. So it's now saying we can get access to the necessary file that we need. Let's get the keyboard back. Now, rm space / data / system / battery stats.bin. So the SU is the original line, rm/data/system/battery stats.bin. I hit enter, it deletes the battery stats file for me. Simple as that. I'm not going to, obviously, because like I say, I've already done mine, and that's it. So once you've deleted the battery stats.bin, unplug your charger, try and use a full cycle for the next 2 days. So try and take it right the way down to the point that it turns itself off. Charge it back up overnight. It doesn't have to be off. I usually do. I don't know why I feel it does. I don't know. I just prefer it. And the next day, run it all the way down again until it turns itself off. And then you're pretty much there. Then just use it as normal, and hopefully you'll see that your battery life has sprung into action, and you get a much better life. Any questions, ask me in the comments down below, or on Twitter at Hemodroids or at AndyCR15, which is me. My name's Andy, hemodroids.net.